Okay, you guys, I'm going to try not to take too long on this video. My other ones took so long. This is page 261, 263, and then 265. We're going to do the first two together during this video, and then the last one you can do together with me in the Zoom, or you can do it all on your own after we do this lesson. It's up to you. So make sure you put your name on it as usual. And we are looking at, again, using addition and subtraction together to help figure out which parts and which wholes we are going to be using and in what order. And so here they're looking at, hey, what do these have in common? We have 9 plus 9 equals 18, and then we have 18 minus 9 equals, and after all of this work we've been doing with fact families, you know that we can take all three of these and just move them into a different order as long as they come from the same fact family. And if you just get your brain wrapped around thinking part, whole, or whole, part, and that every single equation that we talk about has a part and a whole, always two parts. And as long as you understand the subtraction, the whole goes first. In addition, the whole goes last. You'll have such an easier time of interchanging the two. I always had a harder time with subtraction in my head for some reason, so I would always think about it kind of like addition backwards. I would even start at the end and say, what number plus this number would give me this number? I had an easier time with it that way, but it's all up to you. So you look at what three numbers would make up this fact family, and if you look over here, we know, and you know your doubles, so we would know 9. And we look at these three, 9 plus 8 is 17, so then 17 minus 9 is, what is missing? Well, if you don't have that to help you, of course you can use Unifix cubes or drawing a picture or another subtraction strategy, or you can just think about what could make 16 if I just add it to 9. So it's just like looking at it backwards, you know, like if I had 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I needed to make 16. It's like I'm thinking of the subtraction backwards. So I already know I have 9 is one of my parts. So I need to figure out what the other part is because I already know 16 is my whole. So I have my 9, and then I would go 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So now I know what my other part would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Was that correct? 7? Yep, that's the other number is 7. So many different ways to figure out that missing number. You can always pause the video at any time if you feel like I'm going too fast, because I'm kind of going to go a little bit faster, knowing that you would probably pause it if you need to. Now let's just get in our heads that every single equation has a whole and it has two parts. We just have to get them in the right spot. Okay, so here we have a whole, it's 15, and we're going to take away 7 and we get a number. So you can think about, well, what would our two parts be? We have a 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we need to figure out what the other part is to get to 15. So it's like you're thinking, okay, 7 plus something is going to give me 15. What is my other part? So here's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 would be our other part. So that's one way you could figure it out, is you start with the one part, then you count on to get to the whole, and that's how you figure out what the other part is. And that's what they're saying here, is you can think addition to help you subtract, and that is correct with the 8. So let's look down here. Same thing here. We know that 9 plus 5 is 14. So just like fact families, we're just switching those numbers around. Part, whole, and then here we have whole, part. So here we got our part. Now we need to know what the other part is that goes with 20. Well, I know 10 and 10 is 20 because that's a double, so I know 10 is going to go there, right? You guys know that. So then over here, when I look at 20 minus 10, I can think to myself, well, what number plus 10 is going to give me 20? It's like I think this in my head when I look at this. I'm looking at it, it's almost like I'm going this direction in my brain. That's an arrow. So in my brain, I'm thinking, well, what number plus this number would give me 20? It's almost like a subtraction shortcut, maybe. So that's going to be my 10. So when I look down here, I go, okay, 7 plus something equals 11. If I want to count on with my fingers, I can. If I don't want to use my little cubes. When it's a smaller number, it's a lot easier just to count on with your fingers, which is fine to do, or think about numbers that you know, like doubles or something like that. Bigger numbers, you might need to use cubes or another strategy. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So only 4. So then that tells you those are my parts. And that's my hole. So when you come over here, there's my hole. So now I need to put my 2 parts here. Okay, same thing here. I've got my addition problem. 8 plus something equals 13. So I'm going to count on from 8 to find my 13. So I start with 8, and then I start counting after that, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5. So now I know those are my 2 parts that are going to give me that whole. So then that also tells me that I could turn those numbers around and I can make a subtraction equation. 13 minus 8 is 5. So we're already done with that page, but you do not need to send me a picture of it because we did it together and practiced that together. So now we're going to work on the next one. So this time, it's not giving you the addition problem, but you can think about it in your head. You can either think, okay, well, 8 plus something is going to equal 15. What is that something? So my first thought is to take that 8 and count on to 15. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I've got my 7 fingers. So then 15 minus 8 is 7, and 7 plus 8 is 15. So here I've got 18 minus 9 equals something. But if I think about, well, I know that 9 and 9 is 18 because I know my doubles. So you don't even have to think about anything else because you know your doubles. So you can put your 9 there. Good reason to keep practicing those doubles and not forget what they are. This one, if I think about that addition problem to get me to my 13, I need a whole is here, and I need to know what the 2 parts are. So the 2 parts should add up to that whole, 9, and then count on 10, 11, 12, 13, 4. Okay, so I'm just counting on from here to get to there. So I can count on from 2 to get to 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Almost 10, 9. And I can even double check to make sure I'm doing it right, because if I take my 9 and I add 2, I should get 11. If I take my 9 and add 4, I should get 13. So here I have 16 minus 7. I can do an addition problem now. I can start with 7. And let's see what happens. I'm going to use my cubes this time. So I'm going to start with 7 and count on 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I counted on from 7 and I stopped when I got to 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that would be 9. 9 plus 7 is 16, or 16 minus 7 is 9. Let's try this one. 14 minus 8. So I'm going to take that 8 and count on until I get to 14. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just counting on. Okay? And then in this one, 7 plus something equals 17. Now remember what happens when you have a stick and 7 little guys? Well, if I have 7, how much more do I need to make 17? If I'm thinking like addition, if I'm turning this around like addition, think addition to solve the problem. Well, I know that 7 and 10 is 17, so that would have to be 10. And now I can double check, is 10 plus 7 17? Yes. Okay, and here I've got 12 minus 4. So if I right away don't know what 12 minus 4 is, then I can think, well, I've got a few different ways I can figure that out. I can just draw 12 and cross off 4. I could do my cubes and I could make a 12 stick and I can pull off 4. Or I could think like addition and figure out what that other part is. So I start with the 4 and I stop when I get to 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I can double check. Is 8 plus 4 12? Yep. Okay, so then I have, if 8 plus 8 is 16, and we know that's a double, so that's true, then 16 minus 8 is 8. Is that true or false? I'm going to let you answer that. If 7 plus 6 is 13, and it is, then 16 minus 7 is 3, correct? That doesn't make sense because it's not using the correct 3 numbers. So is that going to be true or false? I'm going to let you circle that. Let's look at the back. Sam has some crayons. He finds 6 more. Now Sam has 13 crayons. How many crayons did Sam have before he found more? Well, here's our whole number. So I'm going to put that next to the equal sign. I'm going to do it. And then here's our part. That's one of our parts. And then this is a subtraction. So I'm going to put my whole here and my part here. So that means that this number and this number should be the same. 6 plus something is 13. 13 minus 6 equals something. So I can do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm just counting on to find out what that other part is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. So we have 7 crayons. Now here we have solved 13 minus 4 using any strategy you choose. You can do pictures, numbers, or words to show how you solved it. Go ahead and try that one. And you can pause it and try and figure that out on your own. And then Susan solves a subtraction problem. She uses 8 plus 6 equals 14 to solve it. Which subtraction problem did she solve? Well, if this is the addition problem, we know the subtraction problem has to start with 14. This one doesn't start with 14, so that can't be it. What other one? This one doesn't start with 14. Well, that made it easy, didn't it? This is the only one that started with 14, so that has to be it. So if you paused it and did this on your own, there's a lot of different ways you could do it. 13 minus 4 equals something. And one way, if you're going to use addition to figure this out, something plus 4 equals 13. So we can do 4 and just count on to find out what the missing part is. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that was using cubes. And it says here to show pictures, numbers, or words. Well, since you can't tell just by looking that I use cubes because I have to move them away, I'm going to say I used cubes. Or I could draw a picture showing 4 plus 9 cubes if I wanted to. But I'm going to put used cubes. Okay? And I'm just going to stop there. You have the other page to do on your own. This one is to be done on your own. And it's just exactly what we just did. You're going to do both sides of the paper and turn that in on the Google Doc. And if you want to, you could do it with me during our Zoom today. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too zoomy fast. I tried to go fast so it wouldn't take forever, and hopefully you paused it if I went too fast.